Hello, bonjour. I've got to go back to the hospital to have a scan done on my mastectomy side because the stupid other doctor, even though it was on my prescription, didn't do it. I thought it may be a problem not having not done it, obviously. So now I've got to go back for yet another appointment. So wish me luck. I'll let you know when I get back. Well, I've just come out of the clinic. All the reasons I went in there for was to double check what the other doctor hadn't scanned. I've met this doctor before, he's really nice. And he just decided to do everywhere, and just rather than just where it was said. And he can find a small something. Just showed me out on there, it's just a little black dot. He says, I really don't know what it is, but because you've had cancer in the other breast, he wants to do a biopsy to see what that is. So as you imagine, I'm a little bit of shock at the minute, but I've got to go for that next week on Monday, so that's less than a week. So I haven't got to sit and sweat for too long, and we shall see what he says then. So everybody keep your fingers crossed, and we shall see. Today's the day. I decided last night to take the pills that make you relax and make you sleepy. They gave them to me for my biopsy. Ridiculous, really, because you can only take one the night before and one on the day, but they come in a box of 30. Anyway, so I thought I'll take one of them, then I know I'll get some sleep last night, and just to stop me from getting too agitated about it all, really. And I overslept. Instead of getting up like I normally do when Duncan goes to work, it's 11 o'clock. So as much as I've had that sleep, I must admit it's relaxed me so much, I still feel quite sleepy. But it's made me very annoyed with myself, really, now, because now I've got time for a coffee. Sharon's coming to get me about 12:30, and then we've got to go. So it's more of a rushed morning than I would like. I'll say I've got an hour and a half, and of course the other thing I've now got to take into consideration is that I normally don't have my lunch until about 2 o'clock, which is when my appointment is. So I'm going to have an early lunch, because otherwise when we get in Laval, everywhere that we would get lunch will be closed, because they're not all day generally. So I best get on with my coffee and stop talking to you and get dressed. Hello. Well, it's the next day, and I'm happy to say it's all clear. Yes. Oh, you can imagine my relief. I was sort of leant on the doctor's desk, and my head just fell into my hands. I was just so relieved. When I did go walk in, I was a little bit on edge. Sharon asked Sharon to wait in the waiting room, and he asked me if I had my biopsy results, which I thought was a bit bizarre, seeing as that's what I was going there for. So he phoned the lab for the results, and while he was on the phone, he went to me like that, but I didn't know if he meant, so I've got the results, or whether he meant anything else. So I just waited for him to come off the phone, and he just said that it's not carcinoma. Yes. Honestly, I feel like a whole weight has come off of me now. So I was quite excited then to get outside and tell Sharon, but he decided, as I hadn't, because I said, when did I last have a smear? And I said that I think I'm due one. So he said, okay, I'll do that now. Not that I knew that's what he said at first, because I didn't quite get that he meant he was going to do that. In my mind, I'm thinking he deals with this half, not that half. So then he just said, okay, let's have a look at you, like, sort of thing. And So I said, okay, so I just sort of take the top up, clothes off, and he said, everything. So the next thing you know, I'm standing naked in his office, and I was like, oh, je suis exposé. And so they obviously get on, and as women will know, when you're having a smear, you're on a table with like a footrests or stirrups or something that they're called. And so he had a quick feel round on, and he said, I can't feel anything in the breast that we thought there might have been a problem. And he just examined my scar and everything from last time, no problems. And he did the smear, and before you know it, I was done. So I just got dressed and that. And so that, yeah, Bob's your uncle, as they say. So relieved now. All I want to do now is concentrate on planning our holiday. And yeah, so I'll now be able to enjoy it. He did say, though, if I'm going to go back for another scan. It's called an ecography in France. And I just can't think. It's the scan they do for pregnant women. I can't think for the life of me what it's called in English. This is the problem when you're here for a while. You do forget certain English words. So if I go back in September, he just said, or just to see if there's any change, if it's grown, moved, or whatever. If there's no change, they will leave it alone. And obviously, if there is change, even though they won't necessarily know what it is, they're going to remove it anyway, just as a precaution. So as I said, I've got full confidence in him, so I'm just really pleased. So also at one point it was quite funny because he asked me, did I speak any French? And I just said, no, un peu. And he switched to English, but I carried on in French, and we were doing it for quite a while. He was talking to me and I was talking to him, and then he said, you realise that I'm talking to you in English and you're talking to me in French? I went, yeah, and we both laughed, and I just said, well, it's bon practice. So it was quite funny because those times come up when you're talking to people here and you find yourself talking in French and replying everything that they say, and then the penny drops after you, and you think, the reason I'm understanding is because they're speaking English. Anyway, I just thought at the end of this little video I'd bear you with the good news, and I will see you in the next video. I've just remembered something. I just got out of the shower and I just remembered something. It's just something some people might be curious about. If any of you saw my original video about my positive cancer journey a couple of years ago, I did mention that the doctor put me on the hormone tablets, which there's a lot of women obviously that have to do exactly the same, so they know what I'm talking about. I've been on them for 5 years, and they said I'd be taking them for 5 years. So I was getting a bit anxious about stopping them, as you would do, because you immediately think the cancer's going to return. But when I saw the locum doctor, when I went back for my 6-month check, he said he thought because of the amount of cancer I had, that I would be on the for longer. So when I saw Dr. Mills, the surgeon, yesterday, I asked him, I said about, will I have to continue taking them? And he said, yes, for 10 years. But it sounds like that's just that their policies have changed, and it used to be 5, now it's 10. So obviously I'm quite comforted by that, and by all accounts, for most women, once you've taken it for a long time, it sort of stays in the system for quite a while as well. So thankfully, obviously we're never out of the woods because you never know what's around the corner, but at the moment I'm pleased about that, Duncan's pleased about that, and we will just enjoy the positivity. When it's our wedding anniversary today as well, so we're going out to celebrate my health and our wedding anniversary. It's 5 years today. We've been together since 97, so what's that? I think 25-ish years, but only been married for 5. Okay, au revoir.